Jordan, can you fill in?
Probably be better than you.
Wouldn't be worse.
And we are live. Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show. It is Monday, March 6th. I am Josh Engleman. I'm joined sort of by Adam Scherer. We are brought to you by Prize Picks. Easy day today, 6-game slate. We've actually got a pretty easy week, nothing more than 8 games. So should be a nice, balanced, fun week of NBA DFS. If you're here, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Adam, how are you?
I am fantastic. I feel great. I can't wait to kick this week off on this show. But no, I am excited. We have a 6-game slate, like good slate size. Looking forward to that.
You did not play last night's slate, correct?
I did not.
Okay. You don't have too much to do. Do you say you wish you had?
It would have been better than what I did.
Well, not in the moment.
Yeah, true.
Okay. You got to trust the process here. You got to know what you did beforehand. You can't base it on how you feel now. It's not how this works.
That's true.
Joseph Ramirez with the super chat. You'll never walk alone. Flip those letters around, but we'll let the typo go. Liverpool absolutely destroyed Manchester United yesterday, 7-0. It was orgasmic to watch.
Yeah, that's why I went out and celebrated.
It should be why you went out celebrating.
Yeah.
I should have had a 4-1 day on Prize Picks yesterday, but the Boston OT game ended up costing us a prop, so that was kind of annoying. But yeah, the best thing that happened yesterday was very clearly Liverpool's destruction of Manchester United. Now, I say we just get into it. I assume you want to be done as fast as you can. So you want to talk basketball?
Yeah, I want to go back to bed.
All right, let's get started right away. And don't forget to hit that like button for real. 160 viewers, 25 likes. That's pathetic to start. The Boston Celtics are 4-point underdogs in Cleveland, 217.5 total. This one is basically impossible to talk about for right now, but we can at least make some assumptions. So Boston's on a back-to-back. They played double OT yesterday. We got 44 minutes out of Grant Williams, 46 out of Horford, 49 out of Tatum, 47 out of Jaylen Brown. They played a double OT game and still only played 8 guys. Incredible to see. We definitely don't have Robert Williams today. I assume that Al Horford is not playing today. He doesn't normally play back-to-backs to begin with. I assume if he played 46 minutes yesterday, today's going to feel like the day that he needs to take off. But we don't know the status of Jaylen Brown. We don't know the status of Jason Tatum. Malcolm Brogdon has missed the previous 2 games. If everybody's in but Horford, I don't think that Boston looks all that good. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really unappealing matchup. Great game to watch, but not a great fantasy game. Right now, we don't have anybody projected for more than 6% ownership. That's Tatum. We don't have anybody projected more than 6% optimal. That's Jaylen Brown and Tatum. Yeah, there's not a lot to like here if all we're missing is Robert Williams and Horford. Like, you're getting a cheap Mike Muscala, but he's probably not playing enough minutes to matter. Griffin's probably not playing enough minutes to matter. And then the pieces that actually handle usage and production, we're assuming are all in with Tatum, Brown, Smart, Brogdon. So if those guys are all in, there's nothing that stands out at all.
If it happens to be Brogdon again, like maybe you start being able to look at Derek White or Sam Hauser or I don't know, Peyton Pritchard still didn't even play yesterday. So I really just, unless you lose Brown or Tatum, I don't think that we're going to end up liking all that much for Cleveland. 217 total. It's the lowest total on the slate by 10 points. It's just not that kind of game.
Yeah, I mean, like, you have decent price tags on like Marcus Smart, Derek White, Grant Williams, Brogdon. Smart, White, Brogdon, all between 5,400 and 6K. Grant Williams basically minimum salary, but as long as Tatum and Brown are in, it's just hard to expect a lot out of those guys, especially in this matchup.
The good news for us, we will get this information. It's a 7 o'clock start, so we'll be able to hash it out. But a matchup against Cleveland with this total and essentially everybody in, like, there's no value to squeeze out here. But if Brown or Tatum end up out, that's when you start getting these usage changes that can unlock. It's going to be really hard for anybody from Boston to look great today in comparison to what the great plays will look like. But we're going to be able to go from you probably don't want any of these guys to this is now a guy that's functionally rosterable.
Yeah, exactly. And
On
I
the
mean, like
opposite, go ahead.
it's
Go ahead.
not
Go ahead.
like it's not like you're ever wrong for playing Tatum or Brown. Like if this team's
Right.
fully healthy, but they're just not going to stand out.
Yeah, like every team's got a Tatum and Brown, so to
Right.
speak. Well, like most teams, maybe not Detroit or who else is shit. Portland, I guess, has Dame, so it's Dame and the rest of the garbage. Am I drinking a Baja Blast Freeze? No,
Oh,
I
that
don't
sounds
even.
good.
I don't know what I don't know what that is. Is that Mountain
It's
Dew?
Yeah, it's the Taco Bell Mountain Dew, but frozen.
No, it's
It's
just it's a
excellent.
water in a Yeti.
Oh, your Yeti is like Baja Blast colored.
Okay, never had a Baja Blast in my
Dude,
life.
you're missing out.
I don't think that I am.
You are. It's very good.
Jordan,
What is wrong? Wait, so you've had it, but you're not a fan? It is a soda. What do you mean?
like a cola. Okay.
Idiots.
Yeah, I've never been a Mountain Dew guy
I
in
just want
general,
Taco Bell
any
now.
of the flavors. Oh my God. I mean, I know why you want Taco Bell. The idea of eating Taco Bell right now, it would ruin my entire day. I'd be happy about it, but I'd be happy about it for 10 minutes. Taco Bell is only good while you eat it. The moment
It's
you're done, it's just like, oh, what a gigantic mistake I've made.
so Taco Bell's like the only fast food place that doesn't make me feel like garbage after I eat it.
What do you get? A salad?
What, Josh?
Like, what is your typical order at Taco Bell that you don't come away from it feeling awful? Because
Number
you
seven,
are in the minority.
quesadilla and taco.
One quesadilla and one taco?
Yeah.
Well, no wonder you feel fine. I'll get 4 burritos.
The only time I eat fast food is when I'm driving, just to like kill time. But like Taco Bell is my go-to. Run through the drive-through, get a Baja Blast and a quesadilla and a taco, and then I'm good.
Yeah, no wonder you don't feel bad. You got to get beefy 5-layer burrito.
Oh, I do that sometimes. Like if I'm really hungry or really hungover, I add that and it's good. But like I still don't feel bad.
Doritos Loco Taco's got to be in there. Some sort of chicken burrito's got to be in there. I mean,
I don't like tomatoes, so I don't get too creative with what I'm ordering.
So don't get tomatoes on it. I hate tomatoes. I don't get tomatoes on any of my food.
Yeah, I don't know.
The key to Taco Bell is ordering using the app because you can fully customize everything that you want.
I've never done
sauces, you can go double steaks for burritos. That is really the key. But if I was just going to eat a quesadilla and a taco, I would also still feel okay after Taco Bell. But if I'm eating Taco Bell, I'm losing $20 in that deal pretty easily.
Yeah, no, I always the same thing. But Baja Blast is I don't know how you've never had it.
I've never been much of a soda guy.
I never drink soda except for when I go through the Taco Bell drive-through.
Nah, like I'll get a water at Taco Bell if I'm getting anything.
What is wrong with you?
If I'm ever gonna get a soda, it's probably like a Dr. Pepper or a Coke Z.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that second one is. Dr. Pepper's great. Like
Coke Zero.
If I'm getting soda, like Dr. Pepper's high on the list, but yeah, Baja Blast you have to get.
All right, Cleveland. Nothing says Taco Bell like the Boston Celtics. Cleveland Cavaliers looking super similar to the Boston Celtics. Highest owned guy right now is 8% owned Jared Allen. We do have a Q tag on Donovan Mitchell. That is also a very important Q tag that could unlock a little bit of value for Cleveland. But as it currently stands, I think Cleveland looks exactly like Boston. I don't really want to roster anybody. If Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, or Allen show up in a lineup, cool. But this is a really good game to watch and not a really good one to play in DFS.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing looks very good here. Like if you get to any of Allen, Mobley, Mitchell, Garland, like you said, cool. Like they're good players, but not a great matchup. Nothing stands out in terms of pricing. Like nobody looks underpriced. They're just correct. See, very, very unappealing DFS game. Great actual NBA game.
If we lose Donovan Mitchell here, what's the impact? Because I assume at least one person then becomes a good value somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, Garland looks better. He's obviously more productive without Mitchell. Evan Mobley probably takes on a bigger role offensively. Karis LeVert looks better. Like he's only 4K. His minutes become more secure. He takes on a bigger usage role because he's going to be playing minutes when Garland's on the bench, and obviously Mitchell in that case wouldn't be in. So LeVert would end up looking very good at 4K.
You assume LeVert starts in that scenario, plays like 30 something minutes?
Probably.
Yeah. Even still, though, it's just really hard to talk about either one of these sides. It's really crazy. Like, imagine if Mitchell gets ruled out, they sit like Brown and Tatum or something crazy, and all of a sudden this game goes from essentially a cross-off, or as close to a cross-off as you're going to get on a 6-gamer, to, oh no, we got to play Sam Hauser because he's playing 36 minutes tonight.
Yeah, this game has the potential to turn into one where it's just like, all right, well, I still hate the matchup, but I kind of have to play guys depending on who's ruled out.
I don't have anything else that I can really add to this one.
Me neither.
Okay. Schedule for the rest of the day. This part's pretty easy. Coming up at 2 p.m., we've got the NHL strategy show. At 3 p.m., we've got the So Rare NBA show. Over on the Odds Shopper channel, you're going to get the Odds Shop. Make sure you're tuning in for that one. I will absolutely be in chat for that one today. You're getting Eitan, you're getting Eric. Fun show, talking sports betting, building out parlays on the show, talking through all the tools that we have at Odds Shopper. You got to be watching the Odds Shop. Adam will be back for the deeper dive, maybe. That'll be at 5 p.m. Live Before Lock will be at 6 p.m. And if you want to sign up at Stokastic, this part is really easy. There's a link in the description. Jordan will also be able to drop one in chat. You get 50% off your first week of Stokastic. It's pretty good. Just come try us out. You'll get projections, ownership, boom bust, all the tools that you hear us talk about, except for Fantasy Cruncher. You'll get access to those things so long as you sign up using that promo code, and you get 50% off that first week. So click that link. It's in chat. I can see it right now. We go to Philly. 76ers are 7-point favorites in Indy. 231 total. For the Sixers, lots of news here. We got a Q tag on Tobias Harris. We've got a Q tag on PJ Tucker. Assuming those guys are in, I already really like a couple pieces from Philly. And if they end up out in either order, it just gets even bigger. But for right now, 32% ownership coming into Tyrese Maxey at 5,500. I think that is completely warranted. 22% ownership coming to Embiid. I think that is completely warranted. 18 coming into Harden. I never get Harden, but I am getting a little bit here, and I think he completely deserves that ownership. Lots to like here for Philly in this spot. Yeah, good matchup. Plenty of playing time for these guys. Like Tyrese Maxey still underpriced for his apparently new old starting role. 5,500, played 40 minutes last game. You can expect mid-30s from him with the potential to play a little bit more. 3,200 or 32% ownership seems, like you said, completely warranted. Probably a little bit over-owned, but at the same time, 24% chance of being optimal. Like he's clearly a very, very good play. Embiid looks good at 11-3. He's burned me the last couple of slates when I've played him, but it's still Joel Embiid in a great matchup. He's going to look really good. Perfectly fine going back there. James Harden looks good. He's priced up a little bit, but you have him back to playing huge minutes as well. We had that brief stretch where he was just playing like 34, 35 minutes, but now you're back to, him pushing 40 minutes in competitive games. All three of these guys look really good. And if Harris and or Tucker get ruled out, Maxey in particular just looks even better because the playing time's even more secure in that case. I actually like Harris if he's in at 5,300 in this spot against Indy. Like he's not great. The minutes are there. If 7% or if 8% ownership is real for him, and I know if he holds that Q tag and then gets ruled in at 630, I don't think that Tobias Harris is going to suddenly have like a ton of ownership or anything like that. I don't see that changing all that much. But even though he's been atrocious as of late, I'm willing to take a shot on him if he's playing, the 34 minutes that he normally plays. Yeah, I mean, it's a good price tag. It's a good matchup. He's still clearly the fourth guy for me, but yeah, like I'm with you. He's fine. DeAnthony Melton at 4,500 probably starts if Harris is out. He started the second half last game, did literally nothing, didn't play in the fourth quarter. If Harris is out, you can take shots also on Niang or Jalen McDaniels. They both probably see more playing time if Harris is out. Are you assuming Melton start? I was just gonna say, do you assume Melton starts no matter what, as long as one guy's out? Yeah, probably. Okay. Yeah, I'm on the same page there too. If they went to like McDaniels, then obviously he looks good. Yeah. or Niang for that matter.
Yeah. They normally.
I would assume they go to McDaniels, but who the hell knows? But yeah, Melton could look so much better because if you get one of those guys out, he's going to play 30 minutes today. That will help. Who's your favorite Philly guy?
Maxey.
Yeah, I think it has to be, right? That's the guy that I have the most. I mean, like, it's Embiid, obviously, but an 11-3 center on today's slate is just not going to show up as much as someone like Tyrese Maxey. I have more Maxey than anybody else right now, but
yeah, it's just like there's not as, like obviously my favorite guy is Embiid, but it's just, it's different because he's so expensive. Maxey is the one that stands out because like there's not going to be a lot of guys priced around him that give you the same sort of opportunities.
Anything else we should touch on here for Philly?
I don't think so.
We move it over to the Indiana Pacers. Pacers have just a Q tag on Aaron Nesmith, who has also really seen his minutes drop over the past few games. So I don't blame him for being hurt. 13% ownership coming into Benedict Mathurin. That is the only guy on the Pacers over 10%. You're getting around 10 for Buddy Hield, around 10 for Turner. Pretty light ownership to Tyrese Halliburton. I don't see any major priorities here, but I think the guy that I have the most interest in is going to be someone that no one talks about. If Isaiah Jackson's just the backup, there's a flat min center backup, but the last time I thought I should play that guy, I thought it was going to be Jalen Smith, and it wasn't him. So this time when I think it's Isaiah Jackson, I assume it's Daniel Tice.
Right. And Jackson is center only, which sucks. He is 3K. Like, there's upside there if he is the backup center. The question is just, is it him? Is it Tice? Is it Jalen Smith? That's probably, you're going to get burned just in general. Like if you always play Isaiah Jackson, you're going to run into those games where it's not him. But if it is him, like the upside's there. The one thing, and we talked about this before with Indiana, it's going to be somebody, like one guy is the thing. It's not, you're not getting these rotations where like Isaiah Jackson plays 8 minutes and Daniel Tice plays 8 minutes. Like, it's going to be one guy. Most recently, it's been Isaiah Jackson. So it's an okay dart throw at 1% owned, but also wouldn't feel very confident in it. Mathurin at 4,800, shooting guard, small forward. That looks pretty good. Played 34 minutes yesterday. Typically, you're getting around, upper 20s, low 30s from him. So I like that price tag. Obviously, Turner, Hield, Halliburton are always fine when you get there. Do we have... So Nesmith is basically questionable right now, right?
He is questionable.
Yeah. If he's out, you get a $3,800 Wara probably starting. Started yesterday. Still only played 21.5 minutes, but you got a really weird rotation yesterday, so I wouldn't read too much into it. Indiana went on a huge run to start the second quarter, so they pretty much just played those guys the entire quarter. Buddy Hield didn't play at all. Wara didn't play at all. Nembhard, Turner, and Halliburton all subbed in to close the half, but you're probably getting more than 21.5 minutes from Wara if Nesmith's out.
There we go. Yeah, I wish we had more here. It's sort of just like everybody's mildly interesting. I'm fascinated by like Wara just stepping into this team and getting these minutes that had been going to Nesmith for a while.
Yeah, and I mean, even if Nesmith's in, Wara is playable at 3,800. Like, he's still getting run off the bench.
Yep. Anything else for the Pacers?
No.
Well, now we get to the game that matters. This is the biggest game on the slate. That's not I don't say that because it's fun. It just happens to be true. The Portland Trailblazers are 6-point favorites in Detroit, 232 total. No Anthony Simons, Nurkic, or Winslow. Arcidiacono and Ibubaji, both questionable. We kind of know what's happening with Portland at this point. They don't really deviate all that much. Here are the guys pulling ownership for the Blazers. 25% going to Dame. I have way more than that. 19% going to Jeremy Grant. 22 to Thibault. 34 to Cam Reddish. 14 to Eubanks. 15 to Trendon Watford, basically. Another 7 to Shaden Sharp. You just have to unload here on Portland. A matchup against the Pistons doesn't get much better.
Yeah, and still shorthanded, so you're getting a ton of production from Lillard. He's played 4 games now without Nurkic and without Anthony Simons. Seems like more than that. But Stat News says 4.
Dame missed one on Thursday, the 23rd as well. Okay. So it actually is 4.
Yeah.
Simons never missed games before this recent stretch.
40.7% usage rate, 37.9% assist percentage. You and I talked about it before. Like, it would be one thing if you had this 40% usage rate and like a 20% assist percentage, because you would expect over a larger sample that usage comes down, the assist percentage comes up. But the assist percentage is already there. Like, this is just what you can expect. It's Luka Doncic pre Kyrie Irving opportunities for Damian Lillard. So no issues at that 11.6 price tag. He looks good. Cam Reddish looks good at 4,300. Like, there's no offensive players on this team other than Lillard and Grant. So you can see Cam Reddish step into a bigger role than he normally has. He shooting guard, small forward, 4,300. He looks good. Jeremy Grant, he's the second option here, but it's more like the third option just because Dame is, number 1 and 2. But plenty of upside for Grant. You have a cheap Eubanks, cheap Watford. I wouldn't play them together, but one of them is likely to have a good game with their salaries. Thibel's playing a bunch of minutes. He's 4,200. There's a lot to get to from this team.
I've got 64% Dame right now. I don't mind having that at all, but I'm getting a ton of Thibault, a ton of Reddish. I've got some Eubanks. Flipping a coin between Eubanks and Watford is interesting. Don't play those guys together, correct?
Eubanks and Watford, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I was trying to figure out who Shevchenko is.
Shevchenko's
yeah.
Opportunistic, spelled out mostly phonetically, is also pretty fun too.
Yeah, I'm sure he's excellent at UFC handicapping though.
There's a joke there that is just teed up perfectly that I'm going to let go. But if you guys can figure it out, just laugh to yourselves. It's perfect. Look, when it comes to Portland, you got to play basically everybody. Like, you play their whole rotation. Like, do I like Nas Little? No. He got 27 minutes yesterday. I don't really know how to read into that, but at 3,300, like, that is a value play against the Pistons today. He's not going to get any ownership, and he really shouldn't. But everybody that is in this rotation is viable for today.
Yeah, I mean, Shadon Sharp's cheap. He's pulling like 7% ownership, played 20 minutes yesterday. Little and Sharp are the guys that, like, you should have no confidence in. You shouldn't have a ton of confidence in, like, Matisse Thybulle either, but you at least know those minutes are going to be there, and he's going to play a lot.
Anything else for the Portland Trailblazers?
No, I think we touched on all 8 guys.
Well, if you thought Portland was an interesting team to talk about, I bring you the Pistons. Q tag on Killian Hayes, Q tag on James Wiseman, Q tag on Rodney Magruder, no Boyan, no Beef Stew, no Jalen Duren. This team has only 2 centers. They have 15 point guards slash shooting guards. But let's just start here. Let's start with the things that we know. And I think this piece is the easiest piece. $5,500 power forward center Marvin Bagley is the best play on today's slate.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. Stewart's still out. Duren's still out. Boyan's still out. Good chance you get Bagley starting. If he doesn't start, then I disagree. But assuming he starts, yes.
So do you think there's a chance that Wiseman starts and Bagley is just simply his backup and that's it?
A chance, yes. And I mean, in that case, I think they'd probably still play a couple minutes alongside each other. But, like,
I think they have to.
Right. Like, I assume Bagley starts, but there's also some chance that it was like, oh, we're doing this because we're playing against, Mobley and Allen, and now they go with Livers or something. But I assume Bagley starts, and in that case, he looks fantastic.
And if we lose Wiseman, Bagley's going to have to play 30-something minutes because they don't have anybody else that is even remotely close to a big man.
Right. Which is weird because that's what their entire roster. They're just all hurt.
Yeah.
I was doing
crazy.
I was doing a Sporkle quiz yesterday, like trying to name every player on NBA rosters. And with Detroit, it was just like big man, big man, big man, big man, big man, big man. Like, they have Omar Rui now. Like, they have so many centers.
Well, let's talk about the rest of this Pistons team then. 20% ownership coming into Ivy, 15 to Wiseman, 20 to Hayes, 22 to Diallo, another 10 to Alec Burks. Assuming, like, we have to assume Hayes is in right now. If Hayes is out, like, we're just going to get Alec Burks as incredible value instead. What else do you like from the Pistons, assuming all these Q tag guys end up playing?
A lot. I mean, these prices are cheap. 5,300 for Hayes looks good if he's in. Jaden Ivey at 5,900 looks good. Probably a little bit better if Hayes is out, but like you said, you're just getting Alec Burks stepping into a lot of those minutes, so not a huge difference. But you would expect Ivey's assist percentage to go up if Hayes is out. One way or the other, Ivey looks good. Wiseman, if he's in at 5,200, looks good. He is center only, so not as good as Bagley, but still would look good. 4,100 for Burks, fine if Hayes is in, great if Hayes is out. 4,900 for Diallo. He's pulling 23% ownership, which seems a little bit high to me, but does have multi-position eligibility. He is a good point per minute guy. It's just a matter of how many minutes does he end up playing, but they're available. He played 26 last game. I think expecting around 25, 26 makes sense.
Yeah, I gave him 26. I think the ownership makes sense with the positionality. He's a guy that does get some usage here. What? Is he just typing with his forehead? I mean, good God. Just hoping to hit the right keys, man. That is, I assume that's supposed to say Manhattan
and community.
God
and
did
college.
Not bless you with a dictionary, that's for sure. Whew. Yeah, anyway, I like the ownership for Diallo. Hayes, if he's in, looks great. Ivy, if he's in, look great. Wiseman, I'm happy to get to. If I assume you're fine playing Wiseman and Bagley together.
Yeah, no problems. Assuming Bagley starts next to him.
Okay. What do you want to do with these other guys? Livers, Joseph, Burks, Hampton, McGrew. Is there anything there?
Pretend they don't exist.
Yeah. If we lose Hayes, do you think it's just immediately Burks starting lineup?
Probably. That could be Corey Joseph, which would be interesting at 3,600. It could be Hampton. It's the Pistons. It could be literally anybody.
Who do you think is the fifth starter for today, assuming it's Hayes, Ivy, Wiseman, Bagley?
Livers.
Okay. How do you feel about him at 3,400? Probably not all that interesting because he's terrible.
Yeah. 24 and a half minutes last game, but he's like a 0.6 fantasy point per minute guy, so not going to be that appealing.
This is a ridiculous game for DFS.
Yeah, just continues the trend we've seen recently of, we're ignoring the Celtics and Cavs, which should be excellent, and we are just jamming in the Blazers and Pistons.
And there's a scenario where the Pistons get even more ridiculous than it is right now if we lose. Like, Hayes is a good play. I would like Hayes to be in to play him, but Wiseman's status is just really, really important for this one. It's just dumb across the board here for the Pistons.
Yep.
I think my optimal had 3 Pistons, 3 Blazers when I started it off today. So you're probably rotating around some sort of 5-man core of this game.
Yeah, should be fun. Nothing can go wrong.
Nope, nothing can go wrong at all. What will be fun, though, is talking about Prize Picks. They are the sponsor of this show. Go back and watch my Prize Picks video from yesterday. I was repping the brand. I had the shirt on, but now it's dirty, unfortunately. You guys can sign up at Prize Picks using the link in the description. Get yourself up to $100 on your first deposit. You're picking player props. You're taking over-unders. Put together 5 on one card. You'll net up to 10x your entry fee. Put together 6, you can net up to 25x. But you don't even have to get them all right. If you only get 4 out of the 5, you'll still get 2x. If you get 3 out of 5, you still get 0.4x your money. We're going to go through a couple of these props. I've already put out a Prize Picks video for today. Highly recommend you guys check that out. I do that 6 days a week. We're going to hit Adam with a couple raw points props for today. And I guess I'll give you 2 of the props that I have in my video. So spoiler alert for that. We'll start in Philadelphia with Joel Embiid. How do you feel about over under 32 and a half real points?
Give me a second because I had the wrong projections in front of me.
No problem. You got time.
How many points?
32 and a half.
Under.
Interesting. Okay. I got the over here.
Over.
It's not helping the people watching the show, Adam.
Over.
All right.
I just wanted it to be one of the ones from your video and say you were wrong.
How did you know that I had the over?
Because I see him projected by over enough that I'm sure you have the over.
Okay. I thought you were going to be like, oh, I watched the video.
No, absolutely not that.
Well, I thought you were going to continue your lie.
Oh.
For a game that we have not talked about yet, Fred VanVleet points. Over under 19.5.
That's like a push, slightly under.
Okay. I actually took the under in that one. So we're feeling pretty good there so far. Let's hit one that I haven't talked about yet. We did do the Portland and Detroit game. How do you feel about Dame Lillard's over under? That line is set at 35.5.
Over.
Yeah, I got it at 36.8. I would happily take the over. And honestly, the idea of taking the under for Dame's points against the Pistons feels like a really unfun thing to do. If I'm going to take something here, I just want to cheer for Dame smashing the Pistons. I don't want to find out that he scored like 19 real points and get really pissed off. It's not a fun under to chase. One final prop. Who can we go to that I haven't talked about yet? So many of these game props are coming from the late game, which makes it a little bit more difficult. Yeah, these are basically every points prop is from the games we have not talked about yet. It's kind of crazy. Let's go to Nikola Jokic. 22.5.
Over. Way over.
I got him at 22.6. Probably explains why I don't have any Jokic too, but I guess you're going to tell me that you like Jokic. We'll see what happens once we get to the Denver side of this one. That's Prize Picks, though, folks. Make sure you're signing up. Again, link in the description, link in chat as well. Get up to $100 on that first deposit. And the big key here, because if you're watching this show, you got to be interested a little bit. 1 free month of Stokastic plus Platinum. The Atlanta Hawks, 3-point dogs in Miami, 227 total. Hawks have everybody healthy. We saw AJ Griffin leave the rotation over these past 2 games, so I bet he's a real big Quinn Snyder fan. And John Collins now playing significantly less, which I'm sure he's just not a fan of the Atlanta Hawks in general. Only guy getting double-digit ownership is Trae Young. I prefer DeJounte Murray to Trae Young like I do every other day. Do you see anything for Atlanta that jumps out to you?
Young and Murray are both always good plays. Obviously, Murray's less expensive. He's typically the second guy, but you get those occasional massive games like we saw the other day. They both look good. 6,100 coming into Capella. We are seeing a very similar rotation from Snyder, center rotation, as we were seeing from Pierce. So nothing that stands out. Like you're going to get the random, Capella 30-plus minute game where he looks good, but typically you're getting 25, 26, 27 minutes somewhere in there. So it's tough to really prioritize him. Trae Young and Murray are the pieces that I would expect to get to the most. If you land on a little bit of 4,500 DeAndre Hunter, that's fine. But obviously, you're not going to be excited about that.
Did you say Pierce?
Yeah. Is that not who was coaching them?
Nate McMillan?
They had a coach named Pierce a while ago, right?
They sure did before Nate McMillan.
Yeah, I'm not that though.
No.
It sounded wrong when I said it. And I was just like, yeah, I guess that's right.
Okay. Yeah, there's just not a lot here to really write home about. Interesting that they cut AJ Griffin from the rotation. That was not what I expected, but I guess if you hate John Collins, you need a 4 somewhere. That's how it ends up being Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
Any interest in Sadiq Bey?
I mean, Sadiq Bey played a lot.
That's where I'm going with it. Do you any interest in him at 4,700? The usage just isn't there.
Right. I mean, not really. It would be interesting if he were like 4K or something, like if he were John Collins' price. But right. At 4,700, I think he's pretty much correctly priced for those games he plays big minutes.
Do you have any interest in Collins?
In the sense that, like in large field tournaments, you're going to occasionally get a game where he plays well and gets more minutes. Sure. But in terms of like things I feel good about, no.
Okay. And then we go to the Miami Heat. Miami, pretty standard stuff here. Kevin Love is available. Kyle Lowry and Nikola Jovic are still both out. 14% ownership coming to Tyler Hero, 9 to Bam, 11 to Butler. I really prefer Bam to Jimmy here. Bam at 8,200, 9% ownership. I find him to be pretty interesting for this spot. Clearly, Tyler Hero at 7,300 is going to look all right. I don't really like a ton from Miami, but Hero and Bam are the two that stand out most to me.
Yeah, I mean, Hero's just playing huge minutes. He's 7,300, still a very reasonable price tag there. No problems getting there. Bam at 8,200 looks good salary-wise. It's just that, he is a center, so you have a high opportunity cost. You have Embiid on the slate. You have Jokic on the slate. And then you always just have plenty of mid-range centers as well. But Bam looks good. Butler sort of capped, it seems like playing time wise, just giving you 32, 33 minutes typically. Played 34 last game. I don't mind him at 8,900, but I think he's probably going a little bit overowned.
Bam? Oh, Jimmy. Sorry. I was like, okay. Yeah, I don't totally agree with the ownership on Jimmy Butler either. I do think he's a little bit overowned as well. It's just one position, 8,900. It's a really, really difficult fit for me. I can't imagine rostering anybody else. Do you see anything else from Miami that you'd be willing to get to other than their sort of pseudo big three?
Probably not. There's not really any ownership coming in. Like Oladipo at 3,800 is pulling 5%. If you want to gamble on that, sure, but like you're not going to feel good about it. I think it's, like you said, pretty much the big three.
Yeah, just not a great game here. It's incredible to talk about Portland, Detroit, and then go to this one. It's like, I don't know, nobody. Meanwhile, we're talking about Killian Hayes and how Alec Burks might be a good value play, but Atlanta and Miami are just absolutely abysmal. You know what isn't abysmal, Adam?
My performance on this show.
That's not true at all. I mean, clearly a terrible performance as per usual for you in every facet of everything that we do. But
you're saying it like it's a bad thing, but really I just balance my range so well. Even when I feel great, I do shitty shows. So you can't tell when I feel terribly because I still do shitty shows.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. Well, the best thing that you guys can do is to check out our lineup generator. It's one of our newest tools, and I think it's really just streamlining the process for everybody to get good lineups made. So right away, you're picking whether you're on FanDuel or DraftKings. You can get this tool for $4.48. That's basically like the cost of a beer if you go out. It's the cost of a coffee if you go to Starbucks. It's 50% off for your first week. Link in the description, link in chat. You can scan the QR code if you want. You're picking lineups, and if you want them to be chalky or balanced or contrarian or just any lineups at all, click that button, move forward from there. You can lock a player if you're interested. So if you think that Marvin Bagley is a lock button for today, you could just click the Marvin Bagley button, move on. You're only going to get lineups with Marvin Bagley. If you don't want to lock anybody in, you could just hit skip, and all of a sudden it's going to generate a lineup for you. We have generated thousands and thousands and thousands of lineups on the back end. We get rid of anything that we don't think is of value to you. We throw all of the lineups that we think stink in the trash, and then they're all just in front of your face. If you like it, you can click save. If you don't like it, you click Discord, and all of a sudden you're just swiping through lineups and swiping through lineups and swiping through lineups. You could look at as many as you would like. There's going to be infinite combinations for you. You're not going to run into the same lineup twice or anything like that. You can save up to 20. You can swap individual players if you want. It's giving you the projected fantasy points, the lineup ownership. You're figuring out where it ranks from chalky to contrarian. And then once you save all of your lineups, you can look at the lineups that you have saved. It'll lay out all of your exposures. You can export to CSV. If you're a minimal lineup player, if you're playing anything from 1 to 20 lineups, this is the tool for you, and you can try it out for less than $5. That's the real appeal. If you find out you don't like it, you're not locked into anything long-term. You're done in a week if you hate it. We've had so many people mention their big wins coming from the lineup generator. We know Brajal has put in, I think he won 50K one night. I think he hit another 10 sometime after that. Very, very good success with the lineup generator so far. It's a trial, guys. 1 week, worst case scenario, you don't have to keep using it. I think you'll want to keep using it. So go check it out if you can. That didn't take long. Dude's such a moron.
I'm on top of that at least.
I love how you're handling this, by the way. Just seamless.
Yeah, it's not worth talking about.
No, it's not. Toronto Raptors, 7-point dogs in Denver, 227 total. On the Toronto side, everybody that's normally available is available. We have no real news here. Christian Coloco now with the G League team, as is Ron Harper Jr., Joe Wieskamp, Jeff Doughton, and Delano Banton. Loaded up G League team here. So for Toronto, highest owned guy is Jake Puddle at 9%. There's no ownership coming into any of these guys. And I think Toronto looks a lot like Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, Miami, where, yeah, you can get to any one of these starter type guys, but there are no priorities here.
I'm surprised. Normally you love Toronto, but Yeah, I'm with you. Like 6,400 for Pirtle, certainly a high ceiling there. We've seen plenty of big games from him recently, but correctly priced from a median standpoint. Not pulling a ton of ownership at 10%, 10% chance of being optimal. So don't mind getting to him, but again, a lot of opportunity cost to center. Van Vliet, Siakam, Anunoby, Barnes, like those guys are always fine to get to. They're playing a lot of minutes, but they are pretty much correctly priced. So I basically just view this as a tournament team where nothing stands out, but if you just grab a guy here and there in lineups, it's an easy way to be contrarian and still, keep high ceiling.
Yeah, I barely got to anything here. A little bit of Barnes, a little bit of Anunoby. Didn't really get any Van Vliet. I mean, Siakam being 9K now, there was a time like a month ago where we would have probably had him in like 80% of lineups, and now he's just sort of like appropriately priced. There's just not much here for me. I don't see it. I wanted to, but I don't. Nothing else to add for Denver or for Toronto. We shall go to Denver then. For the Nuggets, Vlatko Cancar has a Q tag. Denver is like every other team, but they're sort of getting the ownership. It's basically 10% coming to Murray, Jokic, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., and Bruce Brown. I think Bruce Brown is very interesting at 3,900 with the shooting guard small forward eligibility. I like the value there. Does anything stand out to you from the Nuggets?
Not really. I mean, Jokic clearly is great if you can get there. Gordon looks fine at 6K. Murray looks fine at 8K. Porter looks fine at 5,400. These guys all pulling double-digit ownership. KCP at 4K, like nothing, not somebody you're going to be excited about getting to, but he's cheap. Like I think they're a good team to get to in general. I don't think there's one guy that stands out.
Yeah, I understand why the ownership is coming in like it is. Jokic or Embiid?
Embiid. I mean, Jokic. I don't know why I said Embiid.
I don't know why you said Jokic. So that's an interesting. I thought you were right the first time.
I mean, I can never say Embiid instead of Jokic. Jokic is just so much better.
I have Embiid projected pretty significantly ahead of Jokic for today. Kind of crazy.
I mean, yeah. So I think Embiid's the better player. I just can't bring myself to say Jokic instead, or to say Embiid instead.
So helpful, dude. So helpful. By the way, I do actually think that Embiid is better for tonight.
Jokic is the better player.
I agree that Jokic is the better player. Yeah, it's really hard to like break down this Denver-Toronto game because you're kind of just like totally okay with rotating through 10 different starters with none of them being a legitimate priority.
How much Jamal Murray are you getting right now? Chad asked.
2%. There we go. Imagine not putting Quickly in more than 80% of your lineups after the Brunson news. I tried. I could only get to 30. I had already made a bunch of lineups. If they would allow you to remove all the guys that you already had locked, boy, would that have been helpful yesterday.
They only do that with MMA late swap.
Yeah. Tom had a real run at it on Saturday.
What?
Tom was solo first for multiple fights into the main card, and then the Grasso win took him out of it. Might have happened either way, depending on how that ended up shaking out. But
I saw like Buddha or whatever his name is. He was winning solo like 150. He ended up chopping for like 105 after the John Jones fight.
Okay.
But probably 100K has probably never felt worse.
Yeah, for real. You ready to close this one out?
Yep.
Late night hammer. New Orleans Pelicans, 5.5 point dogs in Sacramento, 239 total. Great game environment here. Hard to talk about this one right out of the gate, but no Jay Rich, no Zion, no Alvarado, no Larry Nance. Q tag on Joval, which will be incredibly important information that I assume, don't have anywhere near lock. 15 to 20% ownership coming into Ingram, McCollum, Jones. Trey Murphy is at 28%. We're getting 12 to Najee Marshall. Let's assume Joval is in to start. Where are the best plays? Who stands out the most to you?
I think the wings look good. Right. Like I crunched the optimal lineups using our projections right now. And Najee Marshall and Herb Jones both showed up just because they're so cheap. It's not that they project that well, but they're just really inexpensive. Good matchup, obviously. So those guys look pretty good. Trey Murphy at 4,400 also looks good. He's actually pulling the most ownership on the team. Ingram and McCollum are close to correctly priced, but there is still plenty of upside there. With no Zion, you're still getting a lot of usage there. If Joe Val were to happen to sit, they'd look even better. But even assuming Joe Val's in, Ingram and McCollum look good. But I think mostly I end up getting to like the cheap wings here and just hoping I click on the right one.
Same. I got a lot of Herb Jones, a lot of Trey Murphy, both slightly over the field or significantly over the field, depending on if it's Herb Jones or not. Per S&P, Joe Val, full participant in practice yesterday. So that is, helpful information to know. If he happens to be out, you're probably getting to some Willie Hernangomez and to some Jackson Hayes.
Agreed.
And do you want to take a shot at Hayes or Hernangomez as a backup today?
Not really, because I have no idea which one it's going to be, and you do have good center plays. Jackson Hayes has power forward eligibility, but I'm good. If Joe Val's in, I'm good not bothering with those guys.
Do you want Joe Val today at 6,500?
I think he's interesting. The problem is just like you have Embiid, you have Jokic, you have Pirtle at that price tag who looks pretty good as well, and Joe Val's gonna be low owned probably. Like this is one case where like we haven't projected for 2% ownership because of the Q tag. But with this being a late game, like he probably is going to be low owned as long as we don't get confirmation before lock. So the ceiling is really nice. It's just how many minutes does he play? We've seen the Pelicans closing with small lineups recently. There's no guarantee they don't do that even with Joe Val back. Like, but he has averaged 28 minutes per game this year without Nance. So there's a path to him playing a lot of minutes. It's just not guaranteed.
Anything else that we need to touch on here for the Pels?
No, but completely agree with Carlos Cabrera in chat. Baja Blast is God's gift to sodas, and you're an idiot for never having it.
No, God's gift to soda is like a craft cream soda or a craft root beer or birch beer. Those are the top of the food chain sodas. Jordan, wipe that face off your face. Now, we're not talking about some nuclear piss Mountain Dew in comparison to like high-end cream sodas. That's insane.
It's fantastic.
Oh my God. Just pathetic takes. Sacramento Kings. Q tag on De'Aaron Fox. Did play on Saturday. So expecting him to play today. 15% ownership coming into Keegan Murray, 10% to the Barnacle of the Bay, Harrison Barnes. Minimal ownership coming in to the rest of these guys. It's all around 10%. Does anybody stand out to you from the Kings?
Not really. It's just another one of those teams where there's a lot of viable plays, but not one guy that stands out. Like Domantas Sabonis, good play. But you have Embiid, you have Jokic, you have cheaper centers. So it's just hard to get a lot of him, but he is projected to go a bit under-owned here at 10K. No issues with that. De'Aaron Fox, same thing. You're not prioritizing him at 9,500, but he is projected to not get quite as much ownership as he probably should. So a good contrarian play. I think mostly you're going to end up getting to the wings here. Harrison Barnes at 5K, Keegan Murray at 4,600, Monk at 4,700, Herter at 4,900. Just decent lineup filler, but there's not like one guy that stands out as great.
Malik Monk's minutes are so weird. He plays like 20 minutes a game, and then somehow like once every 2 weeks, all of a sudden he plays 34 and just nukes.
Yep.
I'll never get that right.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. Like if he's playing well, he gets more minutes, but
they're all over the map there. 14 minutes out of Kessler Edwards on Saturday too. Gotta love it.
Yeah, he played really well based on Twitter. I didn't watch the game, but Twitter was happy with him. Kings beat writers.
I got nothing else here for Sacramento.
Me neither. Just decent plays kind of across the board, but no one guy that stands out.
Really crazy slate. Like just to sum it all up here before we get out of here, like Boston, Cleveland, just wholly uninteresting. Philly looks very good and could look even better, but Pacers were meh. Portland, Detroit is get everybody that you could possibly get. Atlanta's not interesting. Miami's not interesting. Toronto's not interesting. Denver's not interesting. Pelicans are interesting. Sacramento is mildly interesting. It's one game, and then cross your fingers you get the other one right.
Yep.
First round playoff matchups are correlated with regular season matchups. There's no such thing as a correlation to 4 games in the regular season. That's not a thing. The Knicks being 3-1 against Boston this year has zero predictive power whatsoever to if they play in a first round series. What are we doing here? 4 games. 4 games. It's well known by who? The dude that was typing with his forehead earlier? Come on. Well known. Well known. Somebody hit a buzzer beater in one of the games, and now it's not, instead of 2-2, it's 3-1. That tells you
if I remember
you
correctly, John P played basketball and you didn't, so he's probably right.
Right. Yes. That's probably how they'll do this. First round and not other rounds. That's miraculous right there. I mean, I couldn't imagine typing that shit.
It just keeps getting dumber.
I couldn't imagine typing it and being like, I know I'm right on this one. Nailed it. Go ahead, dig that up.
Like that's where you should have realized you were wrong, is when you're like, it only applies to the first round.
Go ahead and dig that up, man. I anxiously await that fantastic
magically in the second round and third round. It doesn't matter.
Mathematical literature. Who wrote it? Cats? Boy, what do you got going on for the rest of the day, other than what I would imagine to be a nap soon?
Naps, apologizing to people for things I may or may not have done last night. No NBA Notes article will be out in the next hour or so. Bet Pro video probably will wait till after the 1:30 injury report, but sometime this afternoon.
There we go. You'll have Prize Picks video for me is already out. Contenders videos are already out as well. Make sure you're checking out all the content that we have here. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button as well. Only 122 likes here. Not nearly enough. So thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you're watching the Deeper Dive and Live Before Lock later tonight. Lots of info that we are waiting on for some of these Q tags. They're going to be important. Good luck, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Thanks, Prize Picks. We're out.
Harris and Tucker both missed free throw.